Yo! Welcome to Talking Sports with the KingR. I'm your host, the KingR. Got two main topics today. First, we'll recap the first round of the college football playoffs. And the main topic, the war, or sports on Christmas, I should say. The war between the NFL and the NBA. But like I said, first we're going to recap the first round of the 12-team college football playoffs. And by a little surprise, all four games that took place were kind of a blowout. You know, the end results might have seemed otherwise, but if you watch the games, a lot of garbage time points and so on and so forth. And already, not like it takes much, backlash has struck across the college football world with the expansion of the 12-team playoffs. Mainly because of, were some of these teams really worthy to make the playoffs just because they had one loss or, 10, 11 wins? Were they really worthy to make it? Because in the first round we have as such, we had game one, which was Friday, December 20th. It was Indiana at Notre Dame, and it was all Notre Dame. Indiana didn't make it kind of close at the end, but like I said, mainly garbage time. And then the following day, Saturday, December 21st, you had Texas blowing out Clemson. Clemson made it close. Clemson lost by 14? Yeah, 14 points. First let's break up. Just Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17. Like I said, it wasn't a final score. Garbage time. Texas beat Clemson 38-24. Same thing, I do believe. Let's see here. Yeah, a lot of garbage time points. Penn State blowing out SMU 38-10. And then, last but not least, Ohio State blowing out Tennessee 42-17. Those two games, easy blowouts. The other two, yeah, they came back, but they were never in reach. So, in the quarterfinals, we have Texas versus Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. Ooh. We have Ohio State versus Oregon in the Rose Bowl, Penn State versus Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, and Notre Dame versus Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And Georgia already announced that they're going to be able to their quarterback. Ooh. And the thing is, those games don't take place until the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So, a 10 to 11 day window, which is ridiculous in my mind. It should just be the following week. And then the semifinals will be held on the 9th and 10th, while the national championship will be Monday, January 20th, which is ridiculous. But here we go. The backlash, mainly from ESPN experts, analysts, commentators. Mainly, who is it? Kirk Herbstreit, and I don't even know who this other guy is, Sean McDonough. So, mainly because, the standalone game between Notre Dame and Indiana, Friday night, and it was all Notre Dame. Indiana showed a little resistance or effort, but mainly Oh, here we go. Here's one of the flaws, kinks in the armor. Even though we say like Notre Dame had one loss. It was against Northern Illinois, but yet look who they beat. But yet Notre Dame's also a household name, powerhouse, blue blood. Indiana, not really known for their football. And who they beat in the Big Ten? They didn't really beat anyone in the Big Ten, and they didn't play in the Big Ten championship. Their only loss, Ohio State. And that was a mercy killing too. But anyways, let's get to these quotes real quick. Oh, if I can find them. From this article, basically failed to back, failed to back up trash talk. But ESPN's play-by-play Sean McDonough got an anti-party start. Like, to be honest, this game's been a little bit of a dud. I don't think anybody would deny that. Disappointing. I think most of us thought this would be a more competitive game. There will be a lot of analyzing going forward about whether India was worthy, of this. Was Indiana really worthy to make the playoffs? There we go. Shots fired. I know we had another quote in here. What was it about Indiana's resume? That said, they were clearly more deserving than SMU or Alabama. I think they need to lose the assumption the SEC and the Big Ten are clearly head and shoulders above everyone else, particularly the Big Ten. Whoa, shocker there. Throwing the Big Ten, sparing the SEC just a hair and throwing the Big Ten underneath the bus right there. But then the next night, you have Kirk Herbstreit. Oh, on game day. And, I mean, who still watches that? But I digress. Next day, on game day, Kirk Herbstreit. India was outclassed in that game. It was not a team that should have been on the field when you consider other teams that could have been there. It's no knock on Indiana. Sure it isn't. So, and I find it funny. They knock on Indiana, they knock on SMU, but yet here's Tennessee from the SEC. They get blown out by Ohio State. Herbstreit's alma mater. They don't say a thing. I mean, I know Pat McAfee. He said he's trying to include, hey, don't forget about Tennessee got blown out. Indiana lost by 10. Even though I will say they got manhandled by Notre Dame. They got some points late and just too little, too late. And I think in that article I was reading, speaking about Pat McAfee, he also saying that, hey, let's just see this year one, let it play out, and see what happens. I mean, there's a handful of teams that the committee, who's, let's be honest, biased altogether, they could have chose. I mean, look at Miami. They had 2 losses late in the season that basically gave SMU and Clemson the opportunity to make the college football playoffs, which they both did because Clemson won the ACC championship. And then the structures of the playoffs, it's the 5 highest ranked conference champions qualify for the playoffs. And if you're not a conference champion, well, you better make one of those at-large bids, because that's what it is. It's 5 and 7, 5 automatic bids, 7 at-large, and that's where the committee comes in, trying to pick and choose, and the whole worthy, best, and Herbsy going, along the lines of basically trying to say wins don't matter. It's reputation. It's a resume, reputation, who should get in, and oh. So yeah. I mean, here we go again. Here we go again with the college football playoffs. No one's happy. And yeah. What to say? I mean, and now the wait. We have to wait 10 days between first round and the quarterfinals, which is ridiculous. It should just be one weekend after another. And then, here's a good point that was brought up during Monday Night Football. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck were talking about college football playoffs. And I know Troy Aikman was saying, hey, there's been a lot of teams like in the NFL that have worse records that get in the playoffs, and you know what? They win the Super Bowl. And you know, they put it on the field. That's what the regular season's all about. The regular season is your resume, and that's a downfall. That's one of the downfalls, that now these teams play in these super conferences. They have 18 schools, but they only play 8 or 9 conference games, and you can end up scheduling what turns out to be the bottom half of the conference, and you went out, you make the conference championship game, and then maybe get beat. And that could have been the case for SMU. You know, Clemson, they might have had a tougher conference schedule. They won out, and so on and so forth. But oh, it's so funny. All these ESPN, SEC, bias, and like I said, there's no one was complaining about Tennessee. Like, did Tennessee belong there? Well, of course Tennessee belongs there because they're from the SEC. Oh, Indiana, no. Who they play? They been beat nobody, and they lost to Ohio State. Oh, so funny. So, we'll see how the rest of the playoffs turn out. Just want to throw that in there. How they're already bashing the 12-team system, and the committee got wrong. Indiana should have been nowhere near it. Put in 3-loss Alabama. And well, if SMU would have beat Clemson, Alabama probably would have made the playoffs. You know, that's where the committee was leaning towards. And I have nothing against a 3-loss team making the playoffs. I mean, Clemson did. They were a 3-loss team, but they won their conference. You know? And it should be more of that. More automatic bids than at-large bids, but then that's where you get picky at these at-large, because the committee is like, well, this team was good back in the 50s, so let's put them in the playoffs. And crap like that, but I digress. We'll keep an eye on the college football playoffs, see how they turn out. We got 7 more games left. 4, 5, 6, 7, yep. Excuse me. But like I said, it's basically, looking at my calendar, another 5 weeks. Another 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4 more weeks. Because they have a full week off between they don't even do the 11th because they're doing that Thursday and Friday. Oh, jeez. See, just looking at the calendar, if they would have went the Friday, Saturday, the 20th, 21st, then quarterfinals the 27th, 28th, and then the semifinals are the 3rd and 4th. Boom. That's lines up for the end of the NFL regular season. That lines up. And well, they can't do the 13th anyways because the 13th is a super wild card weekend in the NFL. We need to have a Monday night football game, and so they couldn't do the 6th, and I mean, still it's all wonky. They gotta work that out with the NFL. Anyways, but speaking about the NFL, the main topic. The main talk I want to talk about, Christmas. Sports on Christmas. For years, the NBA, the NBA on Christmas. Some say the NBA shouldn't start until Christmas. And because of overlapping with the NFL. The NFL is wrapping down. The NBA over the I'm pretty sure last 10, if not 15 years, they've been, maybe not 15. Within the last 10 years, I'll say for sure, they've been losing the ratings war. They're losing fans. Okay, let's see. The NBA has had a tradition since the second season of the league in 1947. So the NBA has been playing on Christmas for almost 80 years now. That's 77 years. Yeah. Sounds about right. And since 2008, they've had 5 games. Since 95, the current NBA champion has played on Christmas Day. And, the NBA plays every day during the week and so forth. The NBA has Christmas, the NFL has Thanksgiving. Major League Baseball has the 4th of July, I guess. Memorial Day and Labor Day when it comes to holidays. And, NHL has New Year's? Maybe? But, so yeah, the NBA basically has played on Christmas since the beginning of the league. So it's their holiday. But like I said, in recent years, their ratings have been down. The NBA has tried to boost ratings with last year with the introduction of the in-season tournament, which I think just drive more people away. And so this year on Christmas, the NBA has 5 games. Like I said, like usual, starting off with the San Antonio Spurs taking on the New York Knicks. Let's see. Knicks always have to play on Christmas at the Garden. It's tradition. Then you got Minnesota versus Dallas, Philadelphia versus Boston, LA Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors, and then the late game, Denver versus Phoenix. And the only team that really doesn't belong in here is Philadelphia, because they just plainly suck. But it's Philadelphia. We gotta have one of those big markets. And a little disappointed for the first time in, I think, maybe 3 years. Would sound about right. My Milwaukee Bucks, they're not playing on Christmas. You know, Giannis, Dame, big name stars, they're not playing. A little disappointing, but you know, I guess that's what they get for being first round exits in the in the playoffs and just being lackluster to some extent. But I don't see why San Antonio needs to play. Philly, they suck. Another team that you know is hot right now, best team in the West. Oh, Oklahoma City Thunder. They got gypped. And the best team in the NBA, which is a surprise right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're not playing on Christmas, but you can't predict that. But like, you got 3 teams in the East and 7 teams in the West. Lakers, well, there's LeBron, Golden State, you know, but they're in the middle of the pack in the West. Same thing with the Nuggets and the Suns. Anyways, like, I don't really know who's really going to tune in to watch those games, unless you're a hardcore NBA fan. And I think the one thing that just lacks from the NBA is, you know, true rivalries. You know, bitter rivalries. Because it always seems like, oh, I'm playing with my buddy. I can play with my buddy, and there's no heated rivalry, and the lack of physicality in the NBA. Everyone is shooting from downtown. Can't take it to, you know, instead of trying to take it to the rim, you have the 3-second violation, the lane violation. Get rid of the lane violation. Let the big man just stand down there. Everyone takes half court shots anyways. So that's kind of irrelevant. They'll just be there to rebound. What, a couple of weeks ago? I forget who it was. It was like Charlotte. Was it Charlotte and Philadelphia that combined for the most missed 3-point attempts in NBA history? I mean, what are we doing? But anyways, I think I'm digressing. Christmas, since it moves around on the calendar during the day of the week, the NBA though has always played on Christmas. People feel like the NBA should start the season on Christmas, finish the season in mid-July, mainly avoiding the NFL's hype and this and that. But here's the thing. Like I said, Christmas lands on a Wednesday this year. The last 4 seasons, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, the NFL has played games on Christmas because it's landed on a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and a Monday. Days of the week that the NFL can typically get away with playing, so on and so forth. But this year, since it's a leap year, it went from Monday to Wednesday. The NFL decided, hey, you know what? If we do this just right, we can play some games on Christmas again. And I do believe all the games that they've played on Christmas have, in the ratings, have just blown the NBA out of the water. And we'll see how that changes this year, because this year, one major difference: the NFL's Christmas games are airing on Netflix compared to, say, Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC/ESPN. It's on Netflix. So, kinda of easy to access if you have a Netflix account, compared to, say, any of these NBA games that will fluctuate between ESPN, ABC, and I don't know if any of them are on TNT. Nope, so on all 5 games will be on ABC and ESPN and ESPN Plus. So they're spaced out that every game is going to be on over the air. You have access to the games. Unlike, like I said, the NFL, both their games are on Netflix. And oh, it's just beautiful now hearing people complain about these games being aired on streaming services. It just brings me back when there was no streaming services, but you had over the air and cable. And when cable became the rage, and this game will be on ESPN or Turner Sports or the USA Network or blah blah blah, you know. And as someone that grew up with no cable, this is like just sweet music to my ears to some extent. But I digress. So it'll be interesting to see how the ratings will work if more people decide to watch the NBA, since it's easier access. It's on ABC. Everyone gets ABC if you have an antenna or most cable or streaming services. Or will you decide to Netflix and chill with the NFL? But like I said, I digress. Like the NFL, we all know the NFL is king. They are intruding on the NBA, but like I said, it's gonna be fascinating because like next year, Christmas is on a Thursday. Oh, the NFL is gonna be playing 2 or 3 games again, maybe through Netflix again. On Thursday, 2026, it'll be on a Friday. 2027, it'll be on a Saturday, and 2028, it'll be back on a Monday. It won't be until 2029 until we know if the NFL. It might not be until 2029 until the NFL decides not to play on Christmas again, just because of where it lands and this and that. But that's 5 years from now. And should the NBA be mad? Well, the NBA's, they're having a hard time getting viewers anyways. And should the season start on Christmas? I don't think it would make a difference. I don't think it would make a difference when the NBA starts. They just need to find ways to get their ratings back up. I mean, just with the whole PC era, and to be honest, I feel like LeBron is one of the main reasons viewership is down. But that's my opinion. It might be one of the few reasons why it's up. But I think it's just I do feel like the NBA is just not a good product right now. I still watch. I still enjoy it from time to time, but I mean, you got 82 games. You got 82 game season. It starts in mid-October. Regular season goes all the way until mid-April. And then the playoffs late April till mid-June. So, I mean, you play more games in the NFL, but I don't know. It's just funny that the next few years you're going to have this war on Christmas between the NFL and the NBA. And to be honest, if the NFL keeps, like, this year, like I said, the 2 games are going to be on Netflix. And if the NFL wants to keep those games on streaming exclusive platforms, I think maybe the NBA will get their viewerships back. But who knows? Only time will tell. So I think for the most part that'll do it we'll see how this war on Christmas will go between the NFL and NBA. We got college football playoffs. What did I say? Quarterfinals coming up. The NFL is about to wrap up. We have 2 weeks left. Maybe come back, talk about their playoffs. Because when the NFL wraps up, so will the college football quarterfinals. And I can talk about both those again. And maybe a little bit of the NBA, who knows. So, I appreciate it if you tune in to watch. They hear me ramble, give my 2 cents. Anyways, enjoy the holidays and Merry Christmas. And till next time, adios muchachos.